Thursday! Good morning, debate amongst friends, fans.
Well, good afternoon for those who are going to be tuning in.
And good evening to possibly some of our international fans. My God, how disrespectful of Jock Leisner, the podcasting beast. The podcasting beast of the Northeast. Ooh, yeah. Alongside the Professor John Guy, the King on G, the troll master, the data analyzing ninja, the conqueror, the Terminator. Yes, yes, yes. The hard time leader.
I mean, I don't know about getting rid of some
The
people's
hard time.
stands, but I mean,
Ooh.
all I know is we only 62 listens away from 10K.
60 listens to 10K. That's fantastic, man. I appreciate all listeners near and far. We appreciate you, but we're back. It's Thursday. We got power rankings. We got Thursday night football, but we also said, because we got the reads, that by today, both free agents from yesterday would be on another team. And by golly, they are.
They are.
I can't even say by golly, can I? Can I say by golly?
Mhm.
Okay. I can't
That's
say it.
within the
Okay.
parameters.
Within the perimeters. Okay. So Jalen Smith, linebacker, formerly of the Dallas Dimboys Cowboys, right? Signs with the Green Bay Packers. The Packers love Smiths.
Yeah.
Okay, like they love
Isn't it just
Smith.
Derek Smith on their current roster?
Yeah, one obviously is on IR. The other one's playing, and now they add on another one. And when these three Smiths play together, it is gonna be insane. Um, so I mean that's definitely a huge signing for the Packers. I think the Packers are trying to get both Smith and freaking this man standing to my right, Mr. Gilmore, and I don't mean happy. But the Panthers made sure they tapped that in. They said, forget that. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa.
it was liquidation sale. That's pretty much what it was. It was liquidation sale because they only had to give away a 6th round draft pick.
But you think about it, that 6th round draft pick that they gave away really was what a $20 million pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause you think about it, because they traded for him, they have to absorb that salary. But I can understand why they did that, because they didn't want to go into this waiver process and even give any other teams a chance. So it's like you call the Patriots at the umpteenth hour and you say, "Hey, whoa, 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 we're playing Madden here. You know that little box that pops up is like, are you sure you want to execute this trade? Or are you sure you want to release this player? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't you dare hit yes on that just yet. Hit no. Let me tell you why. I'm going to give you, and this is going to be give and take. I'm going to give you a 6th round pick. So a lot of people are mad, of course, at the other teams that didn't do this, obviously. But again, usually when those release records come out, that's it.
Here's what I think happened. I think the Patriots had a price tag that they were willing to let Stephon Gilmore go
Mm-hmm.
for a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And when they announced the release, and I literally just stated this like a minute ago, it turned into a
Mm-hmm.
liquidation sale. So it's first come, first serve.
First serve.
Best
Who can?
available offer. The first one to give us an offer after we make this
Mm-hmm.
announcement, you get Stephon Gilmore.
And it just so happens to be,
Because if you
and
think about it, though, Jimmy G just 4 years ago,
true.
actually 4 years ago to this month, actually, was
Tell him,
traded
prof.
to the 49ers for a 2nd round draft pick,
Which we thought was crazy at the
which
time.
we thought was crazy. And the fact that you think that Stephon Gilmore for a 6th round draft pick,
Well, It makes sense because Jimmy G was still on a rookie deal, I believe. So that made sense. Gilmore, obviously, again, that high price point that he has right now. And you know that the Patriots can do wonders with a 6 round pick. I mean,
Of
they don't
course.
care. They're going to find quality. But you look at it, you got somebody who's hurt, right? Somebody who you're not going to re-sign, and you're like, well, we're going to just cut him. And then it's
Well,
like,
they wanted to resign him, but they didn't come to terms
they
with it.
couldn't come to terms. So this gives the Panthers a great secondary. They already had some really, really good players, but obviously you have the Saints. You got the Bucks. You need the best defensive backs you possibly can. I'm not even gonna throw the
Hmm.
Falcons in there, but I mean, I guess we have no choice. The Falcons, I
I mean,
guess,
they're there.
they are there, but they don't. I mean, if they still had Julio, then oh my God, this would make perfect sense. But Julio's no longer there, and they're still
No,
struggling to find out who they are.
no, but I
But
mean, now it helps out the Panthers secondary, as
yeah,
you mentioned before.
big
Uh,
time,
with the addition of Stephon Gilmore, they have AJ Bouye, JC
right?
Horn. Of course, if he
Hmm.
comes back this season, CJ
Hmm.
Henderson and Dante Jackson. I mean, wow, that's a pretty
Stacked,
stacked secondary right there.
stacked. They can line them up and go man across and just let their freaking rush just go, like go, go, go. But I mean, obviously, we'll see how it helps them. Hopefully, he can come back healthy
Absolutely.
for any team, but the Bucks, of course. I don't want to see that. At this season. Sorry, sorry,
Let's
but
get to the power rankings, Doc.
yes, power rankings, prof. Let's see what you got, power rankings.
All right, starting at number one, jumping 10 spots. We're talking about catapulting themselves to the top. We
Hmm.
have the only undefeated team left, the
Yep.
Arizona Cardinals.
And last week we were just saying how the undefeated teams needed to be up a little higher. And finally, they put some respect on the last undefeated team.
I mean,
Um,
if they did that, I mean, we're honestly going to be talking SEC football, like not even
true.
like how
That's
college
true.
football used to be.
That's true. But I mean, when you look at it, they did beat the number one team.
And that's what I was going to
You
say.
know.
That was a statement win for them against the quality opponent, whom people before Sunday had
Hmm.
as Super Bowl favorites.
This is true. I'm actually surprised that the
I mean, I
Bucks are
don't know
still
why
number
people go
two.
week to week with this Super Bowl favorites thing. That feels like that's
Yeah,
really
that's too
stupid,
much.
but you know,
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the Bucks are still number two. Not trolling in any kind of way, but because they really, really struggled against the Patriots, and it really did come down to a Nick Falk put your mother flipping head down field goal. Um, so I'm surprised they didn't drop one or two slots, but again, it always comes down to obviously they got the win. Number
hmm
two, you got Tom Brady, of course. Again, 40 something years
I
old.
agree with you. I think number three should actually be number two.
Exactly. I would agree with
In
that.
fact, I would put the Bucks
Go ahead, put them down there. 5. No, no, maybe 4.
at number seven.
Wee. Well, let's go through this list. I'm liking the sound of this, Johnny. Now you're talking my language. I can't say all those words I used to say, so
No,
you're
no.
kind of
If
doing it
you're
for
if you're being
action.
legit in your critique, it's allowed. We
No, no,
know
no.
the difference between Doc just trolling to troll and Doc legitimately giving an honest critique on his team.
So I would say this. I agree. Number 3 definitely should be number 2. The Buffalo Bills pitching two shutouts this season.
Yeah,
They deserve to be higher, and I'm glad that they didn't get any stronger because if they would have gotten any stronger with Gilmore or Smith, then we would have had a major issue. But I highly doubt New England would have traded Gilmore into the division. Um, Number 4, obviously, we just talked about the Green Bay Packers.
of
Getting
course.
Jalen Smith. That's going to improve their defense. Obviously, they got the win this past weekend over the Steelers, who are struggling. And I could see why they would have dropped one slot because, again, the Bills are playing great football.
They are. They are. They're a very dangerous team, and once their injury situation gets better, and that's even with David Bakhtiari being out
Right.
for the offensive
Exactly.
line. So like once he comes back too, they're going to be even better. So this is
Even
scary.
very scary. Number five, some controversy with Baltimore Ravens as they went for the NFL
Whatever,
record.
whatever.
Um,
Unwritten rules again. Like
yeah, yeah. But we I think every week we say the Baltimore Ravens should slide down, but they just hold tight at number
I
five.
mean, now they actually belong in number five.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I
Well,
mean,
maybe,
yeah, let's
maybe
hold off on that
we'll
because you
get through that.
yeah, because if the Bucks are sliding down to seven,
Oh
I
no,
mean,
everyone shifts up.
shifts
Who's
up.
seven
Okay,
up? But as
so the
far as
Baltimore
the
Ravens would be number
5, 6, and
four.
7, well, I guess would be 4, 5, and 6 in the revised version of ours. Would be
Gotcha.
slightly different.
'Cause, I mean, them boys, beating up on the Panthers 36-28. I mean, shout out to the Panthers though, because like I said, they really look good.
Yeah,
Dallas is a really, really good team this year. I'll give them credit.
Dallas is
They,
finally starting to play up to potential. That's all it is.
they're finally playing
To the
up to
potential that the fan base have
potential.
placed on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say potential and expectations. They're finally meeting expectations because I think every year, you
Well,
say,
I
oh,
mean, let's be honest. Expectations for the Cowboys every single season is to win the Super Bowl. Like that's their expectations every single
it's
year.
way up
If
here. I
you
mean,
ask
since
if you ask
'96,
any
right?
Cowboy, exactly. Like it's been, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Oh man, we got ourselves a squad this year. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. 8-8, 8-8,
Number
8-8,
yeah. Oh my
four
god.
and
Number
12.
7. You know me, I understand. It's patience. It takes a lot of patience, but as long as they stay healthy, I think it's gonna be good. And they don't do anything crazy. But number 7, the Chargers, obviously beating up the Raiders Monday Night
Yep,
Football, which we talked about yesterday. Moving up from number 10 to number 7, I would say that they're rolling. I might put the Cowboys and the Chargers over the
above the
Ravens.
Ravens. Exactly what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I would
So that
go
could,
Cowboys.
yeah,
Nope. I would go Ravens because I think the Raiders was a better 3-0 team than the Broncos,
agreed, agreed,
and a better 3-0 team than the Panthers.
agreed. So I mean,
So
I would even,
I would go Chargers, Cowboys, and Ravens.
honestly, I probably would move the Bucks to number 8 and move the Chiefs down. The Chiefs,
No, I can't do that with the Chiefs still.
I would move them down to number 9. I would. I don't think the Rams should have fell that far, losing to the Cardinals. I didn't think they should have fell that far.
No,
Um,
it was a terrible game.
it
Um,
was.
it was a terrible game. The score didn't show it. The worst part is this is exactly what you said last week for the Bucks,
I did. I did.
and somehow they were still in the top three.
Yeah, they were. I don't know. It's very strange. And then, of course, rounding out the top 10, we got the Cleveland Browns, which I heard that Baker Mayfield potentially has an injury,
Yep, on the
shoulder,
non-throwing
yeah,
shoulder,
non-throwing.
torn ligament
So,
on the non-throwing shoulder,
so we have to see how that goes.
and it showed in his play. It showed in his play.
Yeah, and just
But I
looking
mean, they
through.
still have some great, running back in that group. They still have some
Mhm.
is in very very talented playmakers in the receiver position, and their defense is still they're still getting better with each week.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, the fact that the
Obviously,
Vikings themselves shouldn't drop the Browns down 2 slots.
wow. So just some notable drops before we get to Thursday night preview here. Obviously, the Raiders fell outside of the top 10 to number 11
That's fair.
after their loss. And then also falling outside of the top 10, the San Francisco 49ers dropping 6 slots. Uh, Obviously, Jimmy G going down really stinks, but what Trey Lance was able to come in and do uh, did look promising.
Who's probably going to end up being the starter going forward, just
Yeah,
like another
exactly.
quarterback who's now,
Exactly.
which I don't think we actually mentioned. So we'll mention that right now. Justin
Do
Field
it.
is now officially QB1 of the Chicago Bears, aka Da Bears.
Okay. Which we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, I know he just needs the reps. I think. I actually just watched a documentary on his, and like you could just tell like his maturation and his desire to win
Yeah.
is just like any other quarterback. But you can tell like some quarterbacks just don't give like they care, but it's like it's kind of like in the replacements when Rick Martel crossed over, sent the guy with the big heart back to his boat, right? And then Martel's in there throwing the ball away, and
Wait, his name was Rick Martel?
it was actually. Is that, I, of course, you don't really.
Because I'm thinking, and of course, I'm immediately thinking of the model.
Of course. Yeah, I think it was spelled. It might have been spelled differently. It might have been with two L's in the replacements. Um, but
No,
yeah,
his name was Eddie Martel.
Eddie Martel. Okay, Eddie
Yeah,
Martel.
I was like, that
I
can't be
swore it
Buck.
was
I'm
Rick
like,
Martel.
it's not Rick Martel.
Okay, I swore it was my. I swore it was Rick Martel in this movie. Okay, Eddie Martel. But I don't remember them saying Eddie. Maybe they just said Martel.
Yeah, they just kept
Eddie
calling
doesn't
him
even.
Martel.
Eddie doesn't even sound. Rick sounded natural.
Yeah.
But we'll continue on. I had to, yeah, we'll have to reach out to them about that. But also falling, obviously, with Teddy Bridgewater's struggling to stay healthy, and obviously Drew Lock
I mean,
struggling to.
that's not on him though. Like,
Again, I mean, you got to get out, get down, man, get out of there, run,
no, no, no. He got concussed while throwing the ball.
get out of there. Your line's not good.
I mean,
Run.
that's not
I'm
even.
just,
I don't think that's
I,
fair. You can't
I don't
tell
know.
a QB you have to stand in the pocket and then tell him to run away at the same time. Like, it's a lose
Oh
lose
yeah,
situation.
you got to get out of there.
That's literally hindsight. That's the Aaron Rodgers rule right
Oh
there.
yeah, get out of there. But
Oh
no,
man, you gotta run it.
right. Now Drew Lock struggling to take over also doesn't help. So they dropped from 12 to 16. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. I mean, obviously they had a hot start. Let's see if they can get back on with Drew Lock. Maybe he takes a step forward
No, I think he might take a
instead of a
step
step
back.
back. Yikes. But Johnny, we got Thursday night football.
hmm
We got Thursday night football. We
Well,
got the LA.
before that, we also have the QB index to knock out real quickly.
I thought we was gonna do the QB index tomorrow.
You want to do it tomorrow? Or you want to do it today?
Yeah, let's give the people the index tomorrow. Let's not
All right.
push the maybe on that. Let's just hold off on the QB index. Let's talk about these Rams. Let's talk about these Seahawks. Game tonight,
Yep.
8:20 p.m. The Rams.
NFC West.
Yeah, yeah. So this is an important game for the Rams, who obviously, you know,
Just lost the
start
division
right.
matchup. This past
So
weekend.
So this right here is, like I said, a critical game because obviously our Arizona's undefeated, and here you are playing Seattle now, which obviously if they lose, they would drop from first in the NFC West, possibly to third,
Yep.
causing an issue with tiebreakers, of course. But I like the fact that this game is on Thursday, and I think this usually would be a 4 p.m. or
hmm
a game that you would never see on Thursday. We would never see this type of game on Thursday. But I'm looking forward to this game. If I had to choose,
It's at a -2.5, favoring the Rams.
they're pretty evenly matched. Points for the team, 115 or 103 points against. The Rams have only given up 99. I can't say only. The Rams have given up 99. Seahawks have given up 100 points. Um, defense. It's going to be a defensive game. I think when it comes down to it, and I'm looking at it, I think Russell Wilson might come out on top of this one. I'm going to go
I'm
with the Seahawks.
I'm gonna start off with this. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you'll understand why Doc and Prof use the term NFC West is gonna NFC West.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some calamity is gonna happen tonight. It
Oh,
really
without
doesn't
question.
matter.
Oh, without question. Um,
um,
it,
they actually predicted the score is gonna be 29-26. I think it's actually gonna be way higher than that.
yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna. I mean, I don't know. It could easily be one of those 17-21 games
That's
because
ridiculous.
these
And
two
and and
defenses.
that's why I'm going with the NFC West is gonna NFC West and
Yeah.
You
I'm thinking
know,
21-17 kind of thing. 21-20 or 21-23, somewhere in that. It's gonna be about 5, 6 point difference.
I'm gonna follow Doc. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I feel like this is a trap game.
Terrible idea. Yeah, terrible idea. Don't ever go with Doc. Doc don't be knowing what he talk about. But I believe Russell.
And then the Seahawks like has like a 30-point lead, and he's like, "See, I
Oh
told you."
God, yeah. Um, but I mean, I will say this. Obviously, Cooper Cup, top three. Uh, I mean, he's up there. Yeah, he is top three in yards. Got 5 touchdowns. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I mean, obviously Tyler Lockett is up there as well in the
Of
top 10 in
course.
receiving. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens against these secondaries that have been pretty good.
Oh, and
Um,
don't forget about DK Metcalf, who can blow the top.
so I think DK Metcalf showed up on the injury report, if I'm not mistaken, when I looked this morning. But you always got to watch out for him. He's definitely not making as much noise as he did the previous season,
Yep.
but you always got to be mindful of his ability. Um, but the Seahawks have also been running the ball much better as well. So you also have to watch out for that factor. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Rams bounce back. I do think they're going to have a good game, but I believe if it comes down to a battle between Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford, I'm gonna go with Russell. I just think he's gonna make the plays tonight. He's gonna make the plays, but
He's listed as active tonight.
he is okay. So we'll see what happens today. They are in Seattle, right? Hopefully
Yep.
the that you know 12th man shows up and shows out.
The 12th man is no longer a thing.
COVID.
Not even
uh,
because of COVID. It's just that oomph, that veil of invincibility that they had. That's been gone.
no, I agree. I agree. And I think the one thing I know we're getting lower on time. I think the one thing I did want to mention, I know um, yesterday we had the Dodgers beating the Cardinals 3-1 on I believe it was a walk-off home run last night. So that was pretty awesome to see. Obviously, the Cardinals,
Yeah, Chris Taylor hit a
yeah,
walk-off homer.
yeah. So the Dodgers won 2-1 or 3-1, excuse me.
Yeah, it's a two-run
Um,
shot.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, baseball's already in full swing in these playoffs, which I'm glad that they added this play-in game because it just kind of makes it more exciting, especially for a team. Most fans, like
Yeah,
real fans love Cinderella stories.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a Cinderella
It's a
story. I mean,
it would
Cinderella
be.
story is like, you know, a 16th seed beating a 1 seed and making it into like the Elite Eight. Like, that's a Cinderella story.
I mean, think about it like this: if the Red Sox or the Dodgers go from these play-in wild card games to the World Series, to me, that's huge.
Okay, but they're separated by like 10
Several wins.
games.
Hey, that's 10 games, man.
That's 10 games that they could have been playing better.
But they didn't.
Uh,
That's what I'm
I don't look
saying.
at
So
it.
you go
I
from
understand why you would say that it's a
yeah,
Cinderella story. I would say it makes for better television,
which is where
but I wouldn't
Cinderella
say it's a
comes in.
I wouldn't say it's a Cinderella though.
It's Cinderella. Glass slipper.
Those slippers
Midnight.
don't fit.
Wow. That's where it fits on the Red Sox and the Dodgers. That's how I'm trying to tell you. It's Cinderella. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next here. Obviously, we got game one of the White Sox and Astros, as well as the Red Sox and Rays. So that should be exciting. Wow. 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 What just happened on that side
Well,
of
you
the
said the
world?
Astros.
I thought we were. I thought we were beyond this. I mean, shout out to
No,
them
they will
for.
never. Oh, please, no, no. It still happened this season.
I mean, shout
I
out to
think I
them
think
for
after like the
not.
first month of baseball, that's when people, the media stopped covering it, but it still happens.
It stinks because obviously they've won 95 games, and
And no one's doubting their talent. It's not the
ability.
talent that's the problem. It's the
And
fact that they had to do it is the problem.
so you think they're still doing something similar?
No, I don't think that. I don't think they're doing it now because they're put under such a microscope now that they have
Hmm.
to fly straight. But they're just allowing the talent to work.
That's good.
It's just that they
And
didn't need to do it during that year.
right. I think a team that I don't really hear about, and you let me know.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't hear anything about the Mariners this year, and the fact that they won 90 games, that's pretty impressive. I would have never even known that the Mariners were I would say it's almost back. Because I mean the Mariners haven't been relevant for a very long
For a
time.
while.
But them being 90 games, 90 wins is pretty impressive. But it looks like the playoffs, based on what I'm seeing, you had to at least win 92 games to get into the playoffs. So
Yes, and it went down to the wire, which is why
92,
I made the comment what I made about the Yankees.
92 in the American League, I should say.
Yes.
In the National League, like, hey, yeah,
Well, I mean,
88
you could
pitching.
kind of see that the
Yeah,
National League is kind of top heavy.
yeah, it is. It really is. So I'm expecting the American League to kind of come out on top, but that's neither here nor there. We're in the playoffs, man. It's October. We're in it, right? We're in it. So let's see what happens. But I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to www.getamongstfriends.com to not only hear this episode, but all of the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over that QB index as well as review Thursday night's matchup between the Rams and the Seahawks. But tomorrow we'll come back with more news, more analysis, and the reads.
Talking hard times, apparently.